Hello everyone. Just give me a few minutes to get some things sorted out and make sure I got everything up and running. How is everybody today? Where are you tuning in from? You did make it this time, Chef Boyard G Love. It's an hour before the sync. Just gonna give some time for people to filter in and hang out. So the sync is, like I said, it's exactly in 1 hour. I am ready to change the world. Are you ready to change the world? 5 minutes at a time. Welcome to all our viewers on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Colorado Springs, Kansas, Ontario, Arizona. All right, looks like we got people. Thank you for that heart, me, Brittany. So how is everybody today? I know I woke up feeling pretty good today. Obviously there's been a lot of momentum behind all of this, and I want to just first off take the time and say thank you to everybody who has continued to share all of our material, share the message, the word, and what we're doing. It's really important that everybody is continuing to practice this daily in their life and get others to join in, because we're kind of in a dark place in the world today, and nothing's going to change if we don't start making a change in our own lives every single day. So today, kind of what I want to talk about is peace under pressure. The idea that peace under pressure isn't passive. It's not a do nothing. It's a controlled response in a system that's constantly trying to trigger reactions from us. It keeps us in a reactive state. And the reason why that is when people are stressed, the brain shifts activity toward the amygdala. That's the part of the brain responsible for threat detection, and away from the prefrontal cortex, which handles our reasoning, empathy, and long-term thinking. That means that more reactive a situation becomes, the less capable people are of actually solving anything and reasoning. So when things start to escalate, it's not just an emotional response, it's actually a biological response as well. And most systems benefit from people that are in a constant state of reactivity, because reactive people are easier to influence and manipulate. So that's kind of what I want to talk about: the how, the why, what we can do about it. So one thing I talked about a little bit on social media this week. Thank you for the rose, Chef Boyer G. We appreciate that. One thing I talked about this week on social media was the idea of how revolution is kind of a temporary solution. It's a reaction, but it's short term, and peace is long term. Peace is something that we have to practice every day. It's a way that we redirect our energy into the world. So there is actually real research on this too. If you've never heard of Erica Chen, she studied hundreds of different resistance movements from 1900 to 2006, and found that nonviolent movements were about twice as likely to succeed as violent ones. And it wasn't because they avoided conflict, but because they allowed for broader participation. When movements like ours stay nonviolent, they attract a more diverse group, including older people, families, and individuals who won't engage in violence. And scale matters for what we're trying to do. Violent movements tend to shrink their base and justify stronger oppositions, while peaceful movements expand and create pressure through numbers. So it's not about avoiding action, it's just about choosing a different kind of action that actually scales. So the psychology behind some of this, what happens in crowds when people gather, when you get a large crowd, there's a shift that happens. And there was this concept from a guy named Emil Durkheim. He called it the collective effervescence. And it describes how individuals in a group can enter a shared emotional state when they feel connected to something larger than themselves. This isn't an abstract idea. It's actually been observed in everything from religious ceremonies to concerts, sporting events. When people move, speak, or focus together, their sense of identity shifts from a me mentality to a we mentality, and that shift increases cooperation and reduces internal conflicts. Modern studies actually do support this. Research from Stanford has shown that synchronized activity like chanting or coordinated movement increases trust and cooperation even between strangers. So when people pause together, even briefly, and align their focus, you're not just creating a moment between everybody, you're changing how people relate to each other in that space. And that's where the influence starts to shift. So just a little bit ago, I talked about how we are converting our energy. We don't suppress our energy; we redirect it, and negative energy never goes away. It just kind of moves. So when we're stressed or when we have anger, frustration, that's all what's called activation energy. If it's not directed, it spills into reaction, creates conflict, and causes burnout. But if it's redirected, even for a few minutes, it changes the outcome. So, which there's also consistent research on this showing that just 5 minutes of controlled breathing or focused attention can significantly reduce cortisol levels and calm the sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for the fight or flight response in our brain. Studies in psychophysiology have shown that slow, intentional breathing can activate the parasympathetic system, lowering heart rate and improving emotional regulation. So, you're not ignoring the stress, you're stabilizing your response to it, and that's the difference between us reacting and us responding to what's going on in the world around us. And the reason why the 5 minutes actually matters is because people don't change from like one individual moment. Change comes from repetition, doing the same thing over and over and over again. Research out of the University College of London found that habit formation takes anywhere from 18 to 66 days depending on the behavior and the individual. The key factor wasn't intensity, it was consistency. Small, repeatable actions were far more effective at creating lasting change than large, occasional efforts. And that's why 5 minutes works. It's small enough that people don't resist it, but consistent enough to build something real over time. I'm not asking people to become, different overnight. I just am trying to give them something they can actually stick to, which is why we do that 5-minute practice. So, and thank you everybody for sharing the live. I do appreciate that. Here, kitty kitty. Obviously we grow with you guys. We're not here to lead. We're just here to kind of remind you of what so 10 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, that's in an hour. That's when the synchronization is. So, repent, which means change one's mind in Greek. Yep, change your negative into a positive. Yep, that's exactly it. We have to convert our energy from negative to positive. Plurries is so cute. Oh, thank you. Yeah, me and my girlfriend came up with that for our little group based off of Plur. So, we do appreciate that. So one of the other things that's made all of this about as successful as it's been has been the autonomy. People don't really like being told what to do, but they respond really well when they realize that something is something that they do themselves when they make that choice. And that's kind of what the difference is here. I'm not telling anybody what they have to do. I'm just suggesting that they take 5 minutes of their day and, focus on something positive, because that's what's important. And it's just those little moments that can really make a huge difference in somebody's life. Psychologically, autonomy is one of the strongest drivers of behavior. Self-determination theory shows that when people feel like they are choosing an action rather than being forced into it, they're far more likely to sustain it. So when this becomes something people choose, not something they're told to do, that's why it sticks. And the proof is we planned this for a little over a month for the original synchronization. Good morning, Georgia. How are you today? Yes, we were trying to make sure that everybody could hear us today and that everybody could view us, and because we're very new to the streaming. This is our second stream for the Great Synchronization, so you just have to bear with us if things are a little bit wonky or a little slow on our end. It's just me and my girlfriend right now that are pretty much kind of handling everything, and the growth has been a lot in just a month and a week. So we're doing our best to try to um, reach everyone and give everybody an opportunity to join. Um, yeah, so obviously, like I was saying before, none of this is gonna keep growing without you guys. We have been trying to keep up with everyone in terms of messages, comments, but there's thousands of people that are commenting and messaging me every day, and so there's only so much that I can do and so much my girlfriend can do. She's right now working behind the scenes to try to keep the stream um, going and flowing and everything. So, just bear with us on that. But when you see our videos, if you could just, make sure you're watching them all the way through, liking them, sharing, commenting on them, because that's how we're going to continue to spread the message and grow. Live doesn't work on Facebook. I switched to Instagram. Could you go check Facebook? We're going to look at Facebook right now to figure out what's going on. I do believe we've got YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok going right now. So, that's definitely a good start compared to what we had last week. But yeah, all of your engagement is how we're going to be able to grow. We're really trying to make this a platform about connection where people can freely come and go. We're not leading anyone. We're just going to provide some suggestions, information, and things that people can do to help get into a better place in their life through, peaceful innovation, peaceful moments in their life. Obviously happiness is the goal in everybody's life. I know that's been a theme kind of in my life for the last years, trying to make sure that everybody in my life is happy. Me, my girlfriend, my kids. And a big part of that is actually understanding what happiness is. A lot of people don't understand that happiness is nothing more than being content with what you have in your life. We live in a very materialistic culture. A lot of people struggle with being happy. Do I know how many people have joined? I know that right now, actively participating through just social media platforms and groups, there are over 1 million people today that I'm aware of. But we don't keep track of anything. This is a decentralized group. We're not, I'm not a leader. I'm just here as like a messenger. I just really here to kind of coordinate things, give people a time and a place to, if they want to sync up with others, then that's, they can be here. But I also encourage every single person that is involved in this to make this their own, so post about it, create events around it, just trying to keep the time frame in mind, because, we want everybody to do these things, their meditation. We want them to do their, yoga or their spiritual healing or sound healing. We want them all to still continue to do that. But if we can align everybody around certain times throughout the day, it's just going to kind of amplify what the people are trying to do by themselves, because now they're doing it knowingly with people around the globe. We have to make that choice, though. I know that there are, like right now, in about 45 minutes in Trafalgar Square, there's going to be people gathering in London, and they're going to be chanting the peace, love, unity, respect. I believe that same person was trying to get a rave to pause in the middle of a DJ set. And so Andrea, if you're in here, I do appreciate that, but you're probably out at the gathering. So they were going to try to pause in the middle of these sets, but it was so cramped that they couldn't get the spot. So they're gathering at Trafalgar Square. And these are what we're kind of hoping, people will just take the 5 minutes at the same time to kind of just collectively and intently focus on something positive in your life going on in the world, even if it's not, for a super long time. I know some people meditate for an hour. I mean, we've got if at, what is it, the 5minreset.org just popped up today, which is actually a timer for people to remind them that there are people going to be meditating at that time. I know that there is a lady in Serbia Serbia, I believe, that has really been helping spread the word and get the message out there. There are also a few other things that we're trying to put together now. I would really appreciate any feedback you guys have on anything you would want from us moving forward, because we can take this a lot of different directions, but I want to try to keep it as decentralized as possible. So people have requested like a newsletter, a weekly newsletter, besides the live streams, which I live stream every Saturday, and have started doing it a little bit late during the week at 3 p.m. my time, which I'm 3 p.m. Central. And that's just a little bit of just general chit chatter. I started drawing again, so I do a little bit of drawing on the live stream, just trying to promote the peace, promote the creativity, because this whole space is about connecting. If you see somebody in the chat that is from the same country as you, or from the same city or state, we want you guys to connect around this 5 minutes of peace, because that's extremely important. Connections is important in growth. Yet, you see a lot of content creators that are worried about their own individual growth. And yeah, it's great. I'm super happy and grateful for each and every one of you that has followed and helped us through this journey. But really what we want is you guys to be able to grow with us. We want you to find your communities, inside of your communities, inside of wherever it is that you live, that you can meet up with and just find like-minded people, because that's really what life is about. We spend a lot of time focused on the chaos, focused on all the noise in the world. There's not a lot of places and a lot of content creators actually avidly promoting peace. So yeah, I see people, if you're looking for someone, you can always scroll up in the chat. There were some at the beginning, otherwise I know you have to wait, but this is what it's all about. And we're working on something for the website that people can basically list their groups by city, state, country, what they're gathering at. We'll go through a screening process to make sure everything's safe, and it'll be posted on the website. So if you're from Croatia and you want to go find a group that's in Croatia, you'll be able to go find where it is, and then you'll be able to find a local gathering that people will be doing the same thing, pausing and practicing, and doing things that are creative. Because the other aspect of what I really want to drive home is creativity is a great expression of peace, whether it's in your paintings, your drawings, your if you do tattoos, if you sing, there's so much emotion that you can bring to it with a peaceful message. Chili watching from Croatia. Nice. See, look, there we go, Croatia. Ireland, we got Norway, Oslo, I'm seeing, here in Maine in the US, Wisconsin, so Tennessee. We did find out actually, so Instagram must have done some analytics. If you go check out the Great Synchronization on Instagram, sometimes the AI will pull up a response that it had 241 countries had participated that it was aware of in just on Instagram, which is amazing. 241 countries is a lot of countries. I'm not sure how many are in the world, but I know it's a lot, and it's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. It's been really moving this last month, because I've always wanted to find a way to impact the world, and I don't know. It's I hear all the stories and the people reach out, and I get really emotional and overwhelmed, because I see how many lives I have impacted, and I love you guys. So, but before I start crying on the live stream, I really appreciate every single one of you. I know that together it's possible to get through this. Together it is possible to change the way that we see the world, instead of being stuck looking at the same system that we are currently living in. Because believe it or not, we are all part of the same system. Yes, different governments and different countries, different borders, things like that, but we're all part of the same system, because a lot of these corporations have reached every single corner of the world. So we're not just We're not just trying to like defeat a system. What we need to do is we need to work around it. If we work around the system, the same system they have in place, we start pulling that energy away from those systems, and slowly those systems are going to start to break down because they rely on our attention, they rely on our time. Even things like social media, when you think about it, uh, they basically look at us as a metric on a spreadsheet, and the metric says that we're worth 42 cents an hour to them because that's approximately how much they make just from us scrolling for 1 hour on our phone in an individual account. So, uh, even cutting out an hour of social media every single day on a global scale, they'll start to feel the impact. We don't need to shock the system. We don't need to hurt ourselves by going on a general strike and preventing ourselves from, having access to supplies if we're smarter about our actions, smarter about what we do. And it's all about the numbers. It is and always will be about the numbers. Protests are great, but the thing about protests is there's always a lot of negative energy there. And when you're looking at a government system that is trying to instigate any kind of conflict so that they can restrict the control of the people just that much more, we can't constantly be trying to burn the world down. It's just never going to work. We're going to end up creating a worse situation for a prolonged period of time. So we, refocus our energy. Instead of thinking about all of the bad stuff, we stay informed on what's going on in the world, but then we focus on the positive things in our lives more, like uh, family. Focus on your family more. Focus on creating things more. If you're creative, if you're someone like me who likes, well, I mean, I like everything. I'm a creative, but I also love the scientific and intellectual side of things. And so I spend a lot of time not only doing research and trying to learn new things about just about everything, I also am trying to work my hands back into the creative side because it's such an emotional release. And it's something that allows you to focus and you don't really think about other things. But I'm weird. Like, I'm the kind of guy that I'll be listening to music, have the TV on while drawing at the same time because my brain needs that constant stimulation. But um so that's kind of where, we're trying to take this. Like I said, a newsletter coming soon. Also, I have a blog that I'll be starting April 1st, which is just a couple days away. It's on the website weirdsquared.com. It should be like on the screen somewhere. And the blog, the first month is going to be basically about the small business renaissance, how we can move from uh, uh, the corporate capitalist side of the world that we're all dependent on, and try to start shifting into small businesses through collaboration instead of competition, because nobody wants to compete with another small business that is trying to do the same thing. It sucks to know that you've been there in a small business and you're having to compete with somebody for the same thing when collaboration should always be an option. Collaboration is one of our biggest tools that we have when we build things as a community in order to try to better the community. Because the more we can rely on a community to help each other, the less we have to rely on the system that we currently live in. The way I look at it is, if we ever wanted the system to completely change, it's going to take 40 years. Because there's a whole lot of politicians, a whole lot of policies, treaties, things that, are currently in the system that would need to be worked out. And on top of it, you would have to be able to coordinate that many candidates to actually make a difference, where you could get enough people on your side right away to influence what actually happened or the outcome. So it's like a 40-year long process, and we don't really have 40 years to wait for the system to change, but we do have the 5 years it's going to take to get the entire planet into a different way of thinking and sustainability. Moving away from the materialistic nature of just being a human, not focusing so much on the electronics, because electronics, TV, smartphones, PCs, laptops, anything that has media, mainstream media in it, is damaging to your mental health. There's no doubt in my mind, and pretty sure there was a court case that just got Google and Meta for it. So any amount that you can pull yourself away from those is healthy, but you want to replace it with, need a positive slogan for the protest today. Ideas? Yeah, peace, love, unity, respect. That's the best one. Inhale. That is really all you need to do is say those four words, and you get as many people to say it at the protest. Which anybody that is at the No Kings, that's always something you guys can do at the protest. You don't have to be in my stream. The stream isn't a requirement for this. We just have the stream in case people want to connect with us, because Delululemon, we appreciate the follow. We really do. And everybody, in the stream that has followed, I see we got a few who's watching the stream right now. We are really trying to just spread a positive message for once, because things are tough. And yeah, so the blog, the newsletter, and then the event calendar, which is basically just the coordinated group effort of creating community gatherings that we can all practice peace together for the 5 minutes, or practice peace for an hour, because eventually, this should be a regular practice for anybody that wants to do this. It's 5 minutes out of your day. There's already a lot of religious affects that, they pray once, twice a day, and that's what we're kind of going for. You don't have to, follow what we do for 5 minutes. But if you take 5 minutes to yourself to do what it is that you believe in, whether it is, praying for 5 minutes, or even just taking a breather and focusing on family for 5 minutes, because that's a really good one. That's what's important. We don't, like I said, we're not here. We're not a group. We're not an organization. We are just your guys' friend who wants to remind you guys that there's a great way, or a better way to go through life. And it's just going to take all of us actively making a choice every single day to improve our life and improve the lives of the people that are in our lives. So we're just going to keep trying to spread that message, and keep trying to promote that and grow this, because our growth is your guys' growth and everybody else's growth, because that's why we're here. That's why we started all of this. It's been a year and a half of just a lot of time between me and Nikita talking and researching and thinking and formulating and designing this perfect moment for everybody. And last Saturday, the energy was amazing. If you were involved in the Great Synchronization last week, and you felt it, let us know if you haven't already, because trying to teach my son how to drive safely, that's consuming a lot of my life right now. I mean, the best thing you can do with children is just remind them that they're in control of everything that they do, and that the consequences are a direct action of their choices. So if somebody's getting behind the wheel, you just remind them that if you get into a car crash, you're going to be responsible for the damages. You're going to be responsible. You just remind them of their responsibilities. You don't have to tell them how to do it. You just remind them of what their responsibilities are. I've got 4 kids, and my oldest just got into some trouble this week, and I'm waiting to talk to him. I'm supposed to see him either this weekend or next weekend. And he messaged me this long message, and I made it halfway through, and I could tell already that he felt so bad about what happened, and I didn't even read the rest. I just messaged. I was like, dude, I love you. I am proud of the man that you are becoming, and everybody's gonna make mistakes. I'm not here to come down on you or make your life harder than it already is, but I do want to know what's going on. So we just kind of talked about it, and like I said, I'm going to talk to him more face to face about it. So my family, but Kay, I think they thought I cared about outside. I'm trying to tell family, but don't think they understood me. I think they thought I cared about sides. I mean, if you're trying to tell them about the Great Synchronization, we're not about sides. We don't pick sides. We choose peace above all else. The thing about the most sides, when people pick sides in anything, they are looking at life in a binary way. They have 2 decisions between them, and they're like, shoot, I can only pick one or the other. and they don't think about how those two options are actually designed that way to make you not want to think about the third option, because there's always going to be a third, a fourth, a fifth, or sixth option. It's just a matter of how you look at the situation. One of my favorite things to tell people is if you're looking at a situation and it's got two sides, I want you to take that situation, turn it 90 degrees, and look at it a different way. And you end up, we're way beyond sides. Well, see, and that's exactly it. We are beyond sides, or we should be beyond sides. Instead of worrying about the label that's on something, you worry about the actual substance of what is in something. How do they act? What do they preach? Like, what are they talking about? That's what really needs to dictate. It doesn't matter what color they pick or what side they pick, because you're going to find some Republicans right now that have been lifelong Republicans, and even they're like, okay, this is going too far. And vice versa, there are going to be Democrats out there that are going to be extremists in the other way, and it's just, extremism never works at all in any direction. You can never have an extreme one way or the other. You always have to find a common balance between everybody, because that's how life works. We always hear people talking about balance in life. But it's true. There has to be a balance. You can't so I've talked to Nikita about the idea of you can't get rid of the hate in the world. You can't get rid of all the bad in the world. One, you're never going to, because human beings have choice. But two, if you get rid of all of the bad things in the world, you never have an example of what those bad things are for people to learn from, to which then people would then learn by doing it themselves. So if you can provide an example of what not to do, and you can get people to understand why this person, what they did was bad, then it kind of takes out them testing the theory for themselves. And that's really what we're trying to do here, is to get people into a more peaceful mind state on their own. People can listen to me all day, but if when I'm talking, if what I say doesn't resonate with a person, then they're going to continue doing the same stuff that they've been doing, even if it is bad. And we need to get ahead of that, because right now, the revolution that everybody's talking about, the protests, if they end up going violent at all, and in between now and November, we are going to see a attempt at a complete and total lockdown and a prevention of the election. It's just going to happen. So now's the best time for people to understand that we need to remain as peaceful as we can when it comes to these protests, and as peaceful as anyone can be, and learn how to avoid creating conflict. I'm not saying avoid conflict, avoid creating conflict, and learn how to respond in a controlled manner to de-escalate the conflict. Because like I said, really, as long as we can make it to an election in November, I guarantee you'll see the highest voter turnout in history, even though they got rid of however many million voters. So, but we're getting there. We are slowly but surely getting to a better way. You can see that things are starting to crack in the administration here. I know I've talked to some people that I've met overseas who are also going through things in like the Ukraine and Pakistan, and they don't necessarily see a light at the end of the tunnel, but they can definitely feel that the energy is starting to shift one way or the other. So much so far to the people are feeling a little bit more relieved. So anything that is such to divide you and stir feelings of controversy and hate is an inside job of the Matrix. If you believe in Matrix theory, I suppose. I guess I'm kind of indifferent on the idea behind like holograph theory and Matrix theory. I do like string theory. I think string theory is probably closest to what we would imagine, where the universe is made of vibrating strings, because we already know that electrons and matter and things like that are nothing more than perturbations and fields. So to me, it would just seem that, in a hologram, you assume that everything's made of light. Well, I don't know if everything's made of light, but I believe justice will be served. We'll see, and justice matters. Justice will always matter. As long as there's bad people and hate in the world, there will always be room for justice. But if people practice peace more often, justice wouldn't have to always clean up so much. So, you know, and I guess that's just the way that I look at it. Um, but justice does matter. And there are hundreds of people right now that are in the news, that are in everybody's eyesights, that need to be held accountable for, their actions. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. If it was up to me, anybody that is named in a certain, file or list that was an accomplice or anything like that would either be put to death or have a life sentence. Because I'm not, the crimes that have been discussed in some of that stuff is horrendous. There's really no words to even describe what happened on that island. And if you really want to set an example for people to stop doing that, then there's a lot of billionaires that need to just go away. Just flat out go away. All their stuff needs to be donated to charity, to the betterment of the world. Yeah, I mean, reading those files isn't going to do anybody good if you're not actively investigating or anything like that. Yeah, everybody wants to know what's in them, but it's just not worth losing that little piece of yourself to know some of the things that Tiffany, we will do the sync in 24 minutes. So hello Angela from Philly, how are you today? It's not worth to actively scan and put all of your time and energy into those files if you're not investigating and actively going to do something with the information. I believe that information is one of the most powerful tools that we have as human beings, but it really matters how we translate that information and use it in the real world. Because storing useless information, if you're not going to do anything with it, whether it be to better yourself or to better people, is a waste of energy. You can definitely find better ways to do things than to scroll social media and see the video of the cat wearing a tinfoil hat that's doing whatever. There are better ways to spend your time. It's just a matter of making that choice. And you start off slow. You start off with 5 minutes. 5 minutes at a time. You decide, you know what, I'm not going to doom scroll for these 5 minutes because I'm stressed. I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to look at the stars or something like that. I will get up and walk out and go outside, no problem, for no reason, just because I like to hang out. And if you've checked out my page, you know that me and Nikita have a bunch of squirrel friends, and including an albino squirrel named Alice. We actually have two albino squirrels, but the second one, Ayla, she appears to have been injured really bad once upon a time in her life. Maybe she broke her back or her neck, so her head's like healed sideways, and she's very skittish. She will come into our patio, but the moment she sees us, she waits for us to throw some nuts to her, and then she runs. So we don't really catch her on video a whole lot. But Alice will come and she'll sit in our hand and eat right from our hand. So if you haven't checked her out, she is on our profile. She's just a couple posts away. I just posted about her the other day. So yeah. And if you guys, obviously, if you have any questions, I'm doing my best to read the chats on Instagram and TikTok right now. Feel free to ask. We have time. The only reason why we created this hour before and this hour after is to talk to people, is to, kind of get to know who's here, where you guys are from, what you guys are about. I see Georgia Lynn says she sews blankets. I appreciate that, Emerald Seraph. We're trying to keep it growing. This is really what we're trying to do. It's not about one person. This is about you guys. You talk in the chats. You get to know people from all over the globe. I want to set up these little communities where places or have these little groups that people can go to practice the 5 minutes with other people locally. But ultimately, this is about getting to know people from all around the world. I don't gatekeep. I'm not here to prevent you guys from growing. You can ask questions. The only reason why I have any followers really at all is because of you guys over the last month and a half. Like, I don't ask for followers. I just want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to grow together, because it doesn't make sense to me if you have $1 billion for one person to have it, when $1 billion is going to easily take care of 1,000 people for the course of a year in terms of like food. That just doesn't, Julie, yeah, Julie, that's not cool. Yeah, we're not here to promote to actively promote in the chats. We are more than willing to help people promote their things, but don't drop any links in the chat. That's not proper etiquette, I guess. Um, or you would prefer to ask at least. What's your YouTube channel name? It's Everything is Weird Squared. The only one that doesn't have the 3 and the 1 for the E and the I is Facebook. But on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, it's Weird Squared. So if anybody wants to follow. Hello, Lola Ray from Washington. We got a lot of people from Washington today. I see Cat B G7 up there's from Washington. So I rescue kitties in need. That's dope. We like cats. We have cats. Maddox is over there. Jobin's right there, and Harriet's somewhere. So yeah, we love our animals. In the summertime, and this summer you guys will see some fun videos, because when the weather's nice, we get all of the squirrels that'll start coming out once we start feeding them. So we'll end up with like 12 squirrels just kind of like around us, hanging out, a couple of white ones, and then the chipmunks also start to come out too. So, and they have no problem just like running up and jumping in our hands, and I have some videos of that. The turkeys will probably come back this year, and we live in the city, but we have tons of animals in our yard all the time, because we don't really bother them. We just kind of let them hang out. So Kay Griffin from Ohio, hello, how's it going? Hey Belgium, ready for appreciate you joining the stream. For the further side of the world, the like Australia, New Zealand, we actually have a second stream for everybody. It's gonna start 8 hours after this one, so it's gonna be 8 p.m. my time Central, which I believe is going to be 1 a.m. on Sunday, GMT time. GMT is Greenwich time in the UK. So if anybody can't make it, or if it's too early in your day for this one, we do have that second one 8 hours later. So less than 20 minutes, I know, right? Super excited. I want to stop participating, but I keep thinking capitalism won't leave, but change. Capitalism doesn't need to leave, though. That's the thing. The choices that you make every single day are what fuel capitalism. So you start really small, make small changes in your life, make them a habit, and then if you keep compounding those habits over time, you'll make a huge difference. It's just a matter of choosing what is it that you are willing to give up in order to prevent the corporate capitalist world from growing. And it's a conscious choice. It's a difficult one. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is a conscious choice. But you'll find happiness in creative outlets and things like that get you away from the mainstream media. So when you think about it, if you run into anybody that's talking about a revolution, if they are actively on social media, mainstream media, like watching television, if they're buying gas, if they are shopping at any large corporation, then they are literally providing the fuel for the same people that they're trying to tear down. And that's what makes a lot of revolutions kind of contradictory, because they'll talk about it all day long, but they don't avidly want to do what it's going to take to make change. And so that's why I really want to focus on teaching people about how we can go about that, starting with growing small businesses. Because if we can shift our money from corporate culture into small business culture, and small businesses can grow in a collaborative way versus a competitive way, then we can shift all of that money away from the corporations. They start to feel the strain, they start to feel the pressure, and that right there will instigate change, because we already know that once the money starts to flow out of a corporation, they go into panic mode. We're going to take their tactics and do the same thing back to them, using their same fears, their same panic, and we're going to do it through peaceful means, so that they can't come after us for violence or instigating violence. We do it through practicing 5 minutes a day to choose peace in our lives. Then we slowly shift from social media, we slowly shift from mainstream media. Like I said, it's important to stay informed, but it's also important to stay informed with sources that are actually going to be true. not ones that are going to be all jazzed up to get interactions or jazzed up to get extra views, because every bit of mainstream media is nothing more than manipulated information to make people more engaging, to make people view the world in a specific way. They narrate stories so that we see things one way, even though it probably was a little different. Even just changing a couple words in a headline will change the meaning entirely to society, because it doesn't matter if you can look at a headline and be like, well, I know that's not true. There are going to be people that can't figure that out in the world. And it's because we've been born and bred into a society and into a system that is actively suppressing our ability and willingness to think. Like, critical thinking is more critical. It's more critical nowadays than it ever has been, because it doesn't seem to exist nearly as much as it used to 50 years ago. We are moving away from learning how to do things. We're moving away from actively engaging our minds in new tasks and figuring things out on our own. We go straight for social media, for Google, for ChatGPT, for Gemini, for all of these AIs, for all of the answers. And it's not necessarily giving us the skills that we need to be able to critically think about everything in our daily life. And we need to get back into those same patterns, those same rhythms. So, it's important to understand how we do that. There's not a lot of places out there that are, trying to give people the tools that they need to, or the information that they need to create the tools that they need to move away from this corporate infrastructure that we're just intertwined with, because we were born into it, we were bred into it. And a lot of people are actually really content with it. Even if they talk about change, they're pretty happy with what's going on. It's just they don't see that in the long term. It's just not sustainable, not for society, not for governments, not for any country. So we just really need to try to find those new ways and build these communities. And if you do your research, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of communities across the country that have gone off grid. They are, they have gardens. They are, planning for the ability to survive without the need for corporate infrastructure. So that's another thing that, you can always look into if you're looking for a place to go. You're thinking about like the nomadic lifestyle. It'd be worth looking into those communities. I know of a couple of them that are out there, one in like Chicago or near Chicago, one near in the mountains of Colorado, and then I actually know of a friend who has a farm that's just north here, about 45 miles. So, and I go out there every once in a while, but he's got like a whole mushroom farm that I helped him build, so he actually has the means for sustainable food, because he could just continue to produce mushrooms over and over and over again. Plus he has wild mushrooms all over his property, which was a super smart move on his part, because mushrooms are a great resource for a lot of different reasons, between fertilizer and all of the different little chemicals that they have in them, between like lion's mane and reishi mushrooms. And so those communities that are out there, it's not a bad idea to look into them if you're looking for some change and don't know where to start. So lived off the grid 2 times, it is possible. Yeah, it's totally possible. It's just, like I said, it's a matter of what are people actually willing to sacrifice, because most people aren't willing to sacrifice a whole lot of the comforts and convenience of our lives. And if you don't ever get into a place where you're comfortable losing those things, you're never going to make a difference, even in your own life. So, because you're always going to be just trained to see the world in one way, and that's the way that they tell us that it is, even though it's not actually that way. Like, when you think about like wars and why wars don't make any sense, like why are people fighting each other when we're fighting over the ideologies of a bunch of old people who probably shouldn't be in office anyways? Like, I don't feel that we should be sending soldiers to any conflict in the world unless it is to 100% to stop a danger in the world. And like right now, we have one that is actively ruining America, and he's sending troops over to the Middle East again It's not necessary. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of time. It's a pointless war, and I'll never be able to back it. It's kind of the reason why we started, doing all of this, was because we're tired of it. We're ready for change. We are ready for something different. And when you look around and you see how many people are also wanting change, they're wanting something different in every area of culture. It's not just like a specific culture. Everybody's looking for change. And you hear about things like the Great Reset and the harmonic convergence, and it's possible. It's just people have kind of forgotten that it's possible. So that's why we do what we do, because we want you guys to remember that change is possible. It starts with us, and it only takes 5 minutes to change your day, to change your life, because 5 minutes is pretty much all that it takes to, make a difference in your life. So we are just going to continue doing the 5 minutes every Saturday at 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope that people will continue to grow with us, continue to join in. Like I said, as time goes on, we are really avidly trying to work out solutions to, or not solutions, but just some like means for people to connect across the globe. Because I personally, eventually, if me and Nikita can make this into a full-time thing, then we would love to be able to travel the world and meet all of you. Have little events in every city where we get together and get to interact with all of the people that have made this possible. Because messages don't really tell us the whole story. We want to experience what you guys are experiencing for those 5 minutes. We want to get to know about all of your different cultures. We want to know about who you guys are and what it is that you want out of all of this, because that's what always has been important to us, between getting to know you guys and you getting to know us, and kind of how we think and how we see the world and what we're hoping to do. Because it's important that the message comes across, and you guys see that we're not out here to create some cult or some pyramid scheme or something like that. We just simply want to connect with everybody. We want to know more about the world, and we want to see if we can help you guys grow. And it's always been my goal throughout my life. I have been trying my whole life, and it's just now that I finally have the platform to do it. This is just going to be my thing now. And Nikita is not a very camera-friendly person. She gets really shy on camera, so she's decided that she is going to sit the live streams out for right now until she gets a little bit more comfortable. But she is just 3 feet away from me. So and she does love you guys. She appreciates everything. I know that there have been quite a few people that have also reached out to her on her account, her personal account, which has been amazing. And we're excited to grow with you guys. Just remember, we are always trying to answer everybody's questions. We have a bunch of form submissions from the website that we're still going through as we try to develop all of this into something that everybody can use as a tool to connect with other people across the globe. We still have Instagram comments, messages, Facebook comments to go through, TikTok. We're pretty much caught up on TikTok, I think. But yeah, so we are definitely trying to reach back out to everybody and answer everyone's questions. Always check the videos, because a lot of the questions that we get, I will answer. A lot of the questions, like if I get a lot of questions about the same thing, I usually try to make a video about it and post it on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I have to do a better job of posting on YouTube for those of you that have joined on YouTube. But yeah, so we try to answer as many questions as we can through our videos, just to make it easier for everybody. Is the live stream going to keep going during the 5 minutes? Yes, we are going to keep the live stream going during the 5 minutes, and then we are also going to extend the TikTok live stream beyond the hour and 5 minutes for general conversation and group chat, if I can figure that part out. We will eventually try to work that into Instagram, and Facebook as well. But right now we are on time restrictions for our live content through Meta for some reason. They haven't given us an answer as to why they won't let us go very long for our live streams, but it is what it is. I can't really fight it for right now. So once the 5 minutes is over, we'll give some time to say thanks and have everybody kind of do their thing. But then we're gonna switch over to just TikTok and try to do some conversation with people. So, Nair, I am sorry that you don't have TikTok. I understand that not everybody has all platforms, but uh, until we can figure out more with Meta, TikTok is kind of where we do most of our live streaming. So, but it is 5 minutes away. So 5 minutes until the moment where we take our 5 minutes and we clear. Um, yeah, and I just want to thank you guys for showing up. We've had quite a few people showing up throughout the live streams, and we do. What does Weird Squared stand for? So Weird Squared actually stands for me and Nikita. We are two weirdos, and together we are Weird Squared. So it was something that we created in 2020 that originally became our apparel line, our clothing line, which is why we have clothing on our website, is because Weird Squared originally started off as a clothing store. We sold merchandise for 4 years, and then it shut down because of Donald Trump and his tariffs. We just shut it down last year, and we've decided that we're slowly going to reopen it, but we're not going to lose sight of what we're trying to do. So we don't actively promote our store to keep the message as clean as possible. It's just there as an option for people. If you check out our website, feel free to check out the merch. We do appreciate the people that have taken the time to buy the merch, send in donations. We've had donations through Cash App and Venmo. And is there anything else? And also just for all of you, for just any significance of the 31. So the significance is actually in the number 13. It's my favorite number, and it is the day of the month that we met on was the 13th, but weird is spelled EI, not IE, so we just flipped the numbers around. Oh yeah, and we were also 31 years old. So, yeah, but once again, like I said, thanks everybody for the donations and buying the merch, because those little things are what have helped kept everything free, and which will help pretty much keep us from ever having to have like subscriptions for our content or anything like that, because we don't ever want to put anything behind a paywall. We want you guys to be able to join our streams, access our information, our website, all of that. It's free. It's whatever you guys can help with or want to help with. That's up to you guys, but we just want to get the message out there, because this is what we're here for. We're in this together, whether we like this or not, and we might as well make the best of a situation. So 13 is one of my favorite numbers. We'll see. And the thing with the number 13 is people think it's unlucky, but if you actually go look back, 13 became unlucky basically because of the Christian religion and the Knights Templar, as far as I can tell. When the Knights Templar were arrested on Friday the 13th, human beings commonly associated the number 13 with being unlucky. But the truth is, especially in like Egyptian mythology, the number 13 was supposed to be a sign of change. It was actually supposed to be good. So, yeah, I'm all about fun, unusual facts. I do a lot of research, so always check out my content. I'm really new to social media in terms of producing a lot of content. It's all started because of this. So, and how do we do this? Okay, so once it turns to the time, everybody's just gonna pause, and we are going to say out loud and repeat whatever we decide our mantra is. Me and Nikita will repeat peace, love, unity, respect for those 5 minutes. If you want, you can blow up the chat, tap the screen, however you want to, increase the energy and just have fun with it and make it your own. We appreciate every little bit of what everyone does. So yeah, it's super simple. It's just 5 minutes of peace, love, unity, and respect. Ukraine, Julie Marco, Ukraine, I hope that you are safe and I hope that you are doing well. I appreciate you for taking the time, and you and your family and everyone else in Ukraine is in our thoughts and prayers over here. So I'm doing a free healing dance party tomorrow. That's dope. Dance parties are great. Anything that brings creative energy is a wonderful experience. So we're getting down to the last 15 seconds. So yeah, like I said, whatever you guys want to do for those 5 minutes is up to you. We're gonna chant peace, love, unity, respect for those 5 minutes, and then after that, we'll go from there. So, ready? All right. Peace, love, unity, respect. 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 All right, guys, that was awesome. I love it. I love the energy. Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. I appreciate everyone who has taken the time to join in on the streams, and everyone who's been sending gifts and the badges and the stars. We do appreciate that on all platforms. You guys have been really amazing over this last month and a half, and we are super excited to continue this journey with all of you. So if you just in case you need the reminder, we'll be doing the same thing tonight at 9 p.m. our time, or 8 p.m. our time, 8 p.m. Central United States, which is 5 p.m. Greenwich time or UTC time. So you can catch us again later on tonight. For those of you on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Otherwise, same time next Saturday, we'll be doing the same thing. And also, May 16th, mark your calendars. We are going to do a 24-hour wave around the world, where we are going to start at 1 p.m. It's in the Pacific Ocean. I can't remember off the top of my head which island it is, but it's the first island to hit 1 p.m. We are going to do every hour on the hour a 5-minute pause, where I will be live streaming for the entire 24-hour period, and I will practice the 5 minutes with every single time zone at 1 p.m. So there will be no confusion about times. It is at 1 p.m., whatever your clock says. And you'll be able to tune into all of my streams. Like I said, we will go for the full. So tonight it's going to be 8 p.m. my time, which is Central Daylight Time in the United States, and that is 1 a.m. on Sunday UTC time. So wonderful. We'll see you tonight. Yeah, so like I said, the 16th, May 16th, at 1 p.m. you can tune in your time, and we will be live, but it actually will start for us at 6 p.m. on Friday night. So we start the live 6 p.m. Friday, May 16th, Central Daylight Time. Yeah. We'll put the event in our details for like TikTok and everything, and then also we'll post flyers for it. Give me about a week, and I will be putting out flyers in different languages. We'll post them on Facebook and Instagram for people to grab. TikTok doesn't really like me doing. So another one at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, Pacific time, Tiffany. Yeah, so keep an eye out for the flyers. Like I said, we'll do them in different languages so that you can share them, and we'll try to reach as many people around the globe as we can for that one as well, to try to keep that that wave of energy going for an entire day on May 16th. So we're super excited about that. Once again, if you're on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, we are about to end the stream for you guys, and just be hopping over to TikTok to answer any questions if we can get that figured out. But we do appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in and spend this moment with us. We appreciate every single one of you. We love you guys. We hope to see you later on, but if you aren't going to be in the one tonight, we will see you again next week. 5 minutes, 4 words, peace, love, unity, respect. We love you guys.